म एकचोटि सोधिहाल्छु है सिन्स वी बट दिस टपिक अप होइन इन्सर्जेन्सीको टाइममा अस्ति चितवनमै मेरो नेचुरलिस्टले मलाई भन्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो अरूहरूले पनि भन्दै हुन्थ्यो होइन धेरै मऱ्यो नि धेरै गैडा मऱ्यो नि त्यतिखेर त हामीले त कति गैडा त त्यो हामीले त थाहा पनि पाएन होला कति गैडा मऱ्यो भनेर होइन आइम स्योर देयर वाज अ ट्याली होइन तर you played a big role in 2000s in the early and mid 2000s to count rhinos if I'm not mistaken होइन do we have an actual number of how many rhinos we had back in 90s and how many did we lose during the insurgency?
Absolutely, because the government does the census. That's basically counting all the rhino we have in the particular area. So every 5 years, the government does the rhino count, and from there they estimate the number. So with the rhino, it's very easy because given the body size, you can easily locate if you search the certain area in where they reside. So I think from 1995 onwards, we have been counting the rhino on the regular basis every 5 years periodic time. So we actually know how many rhinos are there in that particular area, and also because in Bardia and Sukla, so those are all translocated rhinos. So maybe in the prehistoric time there was a rhino in that area, but from 80s onward the government started translocating rhino in that particular area. So we know how many rhinos were translocated. During that time, so particularly maybe our monitoring system was not so strong, so we may not be able to know like there might be a breeding in that particular area as well. So exact number maybe we didn't know during that time, but every 5 years if you count, we know like how many rhinos are there, and if you tally the figure between the previous era and the current count data, so you can actually know like.
How many rhinos do we have now? Above 700?
752 in total.
नेपाल भरि होइन 752 rhinos चाहिँ छ अहिले यति त accounted for होइन and more being born right now I'm sure hopefully.
So we have like a growth rate of 5%. So that's how we project what could be a number in the next 5 years. So we tally that with the rhino count data after 5 years as well. So.
Tell me something, since we are in this topic itself, होइन इन्सर्जेन्सीको टाइममा चाहिँ हामीले के कुराहरू चाहिँ कुन जनावरहरू चाहिँ हामीले म्याक्सिमम लुज गऱ्यौँ?
That's a kind of very tricky question, but let's say, especially in the Bavai Valley, where a maximum number of rhino were translocated. I think almost in Bardia we translocated 100 rhinos till now, from 80s to all the way to 2017. In I think around 10 to 11 translocation event.
Let's explain to everybody what translocation means.
It's basically moving a rhino from the founder population, like from Chitwan, and reintroducing in the Bardia Valley.
Okay. So moving them from point A to point B.
B,
So during 90s, 2000s, we moved them a lot as well.
Yeah.
A lot, I'm sure, got poached as well at that time.
Yeah, obviously, because I think it was 2009, 10 count we did in Bardia as well. So we didn't find any rhino in Bavai Valley. So few of the rhinos actually translocated on the other side of the Bardia National Park. So that's Karnali floodplain. So
we could definitely go ahead and check the whole thing out in WWF Nepal.org website.
So this is 2016 translocation.
Nice. This is very interesting. So move back, move more back. Other pasadi jao ta. त्यहाँतिर जाउँ. Play the whole thing. We have a minute. This is Bardia National Park. Where are you moving the rhino from?
Chitwan.
From Chitwan?
Yeah.
Nice. So this is how we do it, huh?
So you put in a big crate over there.
Yeah. There you go. Interesting. And then he's gone. He or she is gone.
Yeah.
So she is the female adult. So now she has a baby as well, born in Bavai Valley.
I think
So
राइनोमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि नि आई थिङ्क एउटा समरीमा सबैले बुझ्नुपर्ने we started rhino conservation in early 70s, late 60s, with less than 100 rhinos. Less than 100 rhinos. Then it went up and actually rose over 500. And then during the insurgency, it went as low as 372, something like that. And then we grew up later, and then everyone thought that we can make it more rhinos possible if you are protecting it well from poaching inside, trade from outside. Okay, that has to go together. यदि गऱ्यो भने the government को leadership मा सबै conservation community र most importantly buffer zone को community सँगै गर्न सक्यो र enforcement agency सबै गर्न सक्यो भने it's a could be we can create a history भने थियो, and Nepal created that history. When there are 4 कोसे झारी हुँदाखेरि the kind of estimation was about 800 rhinos. जुन बेला ब्रिटिसहरु आएर सुट पनि गर्थे टाइगर राइनो हैन, अनि त्यो बेलाको राइनो अब अहिले 752 भनेको we have reached there basically. Okay, so this कारणले यो समरीमा कुरा गर्दा less than 100. Nepal is the only country that achieved zero rhino poaching year after year. Is not only poaching being controlled, or trade being controlled by the Wildlife Crime Control Bureau, the police, very done well, and the community there, and highest political commitment from the Prime Minister has a committee to look after that. So because that the combination of working together, we have created history. So basically, shortly say, less than 100 we began, we grew to almost 500 plus, then we went down during the insurgency. Then after that, 2007, 8 words really start working very together. When we started working together, and tiger को लागि कुरा गर्यौं हैन, which we can talk later. 9 देखि सुरु गर्दै 10 मा St. Petersburg भयो. When you are protecting tigers so much, the rhinos are kind of a byproduct protection.
Automatically.
Because they are together, no? So you patrol for the rhinos, you're patrolling for the tigers. You patrol. So it's a kind of a very nicely done effectively. So I think say rhino was a त्यो इतिहासको.
They're beautiful, beautiful animals. They're really beautiful. It breaks my heart to see a rhino not making it. Recently we saw that जुन चितवनमा चाहिँ बाटोमा हिँड्दा हिँड्दै त्यो खाल्टोमा परेको पनि हामीले देखेका थियौं नि हैन. It was very disheartening to see that as well. In future ma, I'm sure you worked really hard to make sure that doesn't happen in the future. But that was really sad to see what had happened in Chitwan. We lost one. Oh, there you go. We lost one recently. I believe you're January tiro, okay? January. We lost one. I don't know if it was a male or a female, but it was very disheartening to see something like this happen as well. And in the future, hopefully, we will not go through something like this again. It is very beautiful to see that we've come from 100 भन्दा मुनि 500 फेरि घटेर 300 400 भनौं न हैन. अनि अहिले आएर लगभग 4 वर्ष भयो के अरे जिरो पोचिङ
2011 देखि भएको. यस्तो नै भएर इन्ट्रेस्टिङ कुरा त्यही भन्दैछु कि म 9 मा हामी टाइगरको धेरै कुरा गरौँ, अनि 10 मा आउँदाखेरि समिट भयो, यति धेरै इन्भेस्टमेन्ट भयो सबैतिरबाट. देन यति सिस्टमले काम गर्यो, गभर्नमेन्टको मेकानिजम्सहरू, इन्फोर्समेन्टदेखि लिएर पार्कदेखि लिएर सबैले, अनि त्यसपछि तुरुन्तै जेरो पोचिङ सक्सेस भयो. And Nepal is the only country that has achieved a zero rhino poaching in the world, and is not only achieved once and twice, it continues to do achieving it, and then doing 365 days of zero poaching. And is यस्तो सिस्टम बनेछ कि अब नेपालको प्रोटेक्सन युनिटले नम्बर जुन चाहिँ आर्मीको बटालियन छ उहाँले लेख्छ हैन, कति दिन 365 364 363 62 61 60 भनेर. So that's how count. And then त्यो partnership, it's working. Nepal is a clear example. Working together is the only possible to achieve something unthinkable. And that needs a political will. That's why the Prime Minister sits in the committee. And the system all has to buy in, which broke enforcement, army, police, sastra, and then there's a whole bureaucracy system, forest ministry, minister, interministerial secretary buy in. Then you really have to have a conservation communities like us are coming together. And then most importantly, local people and youth joining the force to really make a difference on the ground. And I think this is a clear example. No one has done it in the world except us. And we've been teaching the rest of the world how it can be done. And if you look at that, Nepal being still one of the poorest countries, no, we're saying middle income, we are transiting to it, and most climate vulnerable, and still you can talk about openly about corruption. We are still in the quite higher up there, no. And you look at every aspect of development indicators, no.
Despite of all the problems, despite of all the struggles that we have, and what did you just show? Zero poaching, right? It's beautiful to see that. Thank you very much for watching us on YouTube. Make sure that you also listen to us on Spotify. This program is brought to you by Vyas Studios.